Now, theory is over. Let's go to do some practical, and quickly we'll see best way to understand, I believe, to practice and experience rather than just talking theory. So that's why I said this session is completely less theory, more of hands-on and understanding and doing yourself. So let's do it. So I expect you to have running the VirtualBox. If you have not installed, please do install, but who already have your VirtualBox, please run it. And you can follow me, what I'm doing. I'll be slow so that you can follow me. Please start VirtualBox on your laptop if you can. I have created this, let me delete it. So previously, if you see, we created a GitLab runner, right, in our DevOps. So I'm sure you must have your VirtualBox environment ready. Now, as we said last time, I saw you how to create a base image of the operating system. This is a CentOS 7 base image. When I have just named it, there is nothing called base image, but I'm not going to implement or install again and again. Simple, I'm going to clone it, okay? So here, because my operating system is ready, I'll not reinstall it, simple, I'll clone it to have a new VM, okay? So I call it maybe my Docker host. My Docker host. You can give any name you want. It is the material. I gave my Docker host, okay? And I am going to clone it. So my VM is ready. Quickly, it's cloned immediately, right? So now I'm going to start it. So that I'm going to show it's a Linux machine running. CentOS, okay? CentOS. Okay, so this is my CentOS running. Log into your machine. Is it visible today? Because last time the text was like so small, the letters were small. So I'll change the host name. My Docker host. Okay. So I changed just so that I'll not log into anywhere. So my Docker host change. Simple. See what is the IP? It is 192.168.1.129. So what I'll do is, because directly I don't prefer to work, what I'll do is I'll rather SSH so that I can copy paste my commands. Because here, if you work directly on the console, it will not accept your copy paste operation. Okay. So what you do is always from your local terminal, you open it and do a SSH to your VM. So I do SSH NAC 192.168.1.129. That was my IP, right? This is my Docker host. If you see, this is my Docker host, right? I will give a very simple command. So I call it like whole thing. It takes 1 minute, actually, 1 or 2 minutes to implement Docker. So possibly I should have a video on my YouTube, 5 minutes learning 5 minutes, like learning Docker in 5 minutes. So I will just give you, follow me this. I'm typing it slowly. So simple, do a call. Call is obviously the browsing command, right? HTTPS, I'm louder. Call HTTPS. Okay, before that, minus S, small s, capital L, because SSL, okay? And then HTTPS get dot docker.com and pass it, pipe it to bash. So that what it does is it actually get a script from this, and that script is being run using bash, and it will, whatever required, it will do in your system, and it will install everything it will do itself. So they have automated it. So give a password, root password. So Docker has automated this script to implement, whether it is CentOS, it is Red Hat, Ubuntu, this script is going to work invariably everywhere. It is not, you don't need to do yum, you don't need to do apt-get to install. Simple, it will, this particular line, irrespective of which platform it is, it's going to implement it. Okay, I'll write a call minus small s, capital S, L, capital L, HTTPS :/ get docker.com's pipe to bash. This one command will install Docker in your system. And now if you see here, this is important because you are a user. So what is the meaning of this? It is telling that adding this important too. So what you do is, it recognizes what user you are. You see this directly, it is giving PNAC. So by the way, Docker daemon, it is called Docker D. There is a process, Docker daemon. It becomes, or root becomes the owner of Docker daemon. As a user, if you want to run it or you want to access it, then you have to be part of a group called Docker. This means that. So sudo user mod small a capital G docker pnai. If you have to execute it. What I'm doing is I'm adding pnarc into Docker user group. Just add it. That's all you need to do. These two commands will install Docker and configure also in your system. Okay, very useful. You don't need to understand or remember anything else. So, and then you start it. Simple. Starting the, obviously starting any of the process in Linux is sudo systemctl start docker. This will start the daemon or start the service and enable it so that when you restart it, it will by default, it will run automatic. You don't have to always execute this command. So for that, sudo same systemctl enable docker. So this tool. So that means you see this 4 commands. One is call command. Second is the user mod command. Third is start, systemctl start. Fourth is sudo systemctl enable. That's all you need to do. Your system is completely ready with Docker. And just to so that pnic will take effect, the environment variables will take effect only when you relog in. So what you do is simple exit and relog in. That's all. So now the environment variables are applied to the user, pnic. So now if you see simple do a docker ps, it is executing. What is docker ps is, it's simple showing if any particular image is running or not, or container is running or not. You can see docker images to see if any local images are present or not, because it's a freshly started environment. So obviously there's nothing, right? So a good practice is take some snapshots always. As this is a very newly installed image or VM, what I prefer to do is just stop this for, it's a good practice, okay? Sudo init 0. I'm going to stop it first. On my VirtualBox, I'm going to take a snapshot of it. So if any modification or due to anything I screwed my system or I just corrupted my system, I can return back to the same state. So what we do is just take a snapshot of that, and I call it snapshot Docker. I give a description. Docker is freshly installed. So this is a snapshot of my system or the machine where Docker is freshly installed, nothing else. So anytime it gets corrupted, I can just come back to this current state, snapshot Docker, and again restart it. So everything I'll be losing, of course, but I'll be, instead of creating again and again, because you all are new, so you may sometimes corrupt your system due to anything. So better to take a snapshot and return back there. And again, just start it, same thing, just it is current state, and to go to the current state and start it again. Any doubt or any comments before we move ahead with the commands? Did you install, by the way, people, like, are you able to install it?
And what is that you did to make this screen bigger? Last time it was coming slow, coming
Your
small,
voice
right?
is not clear. It is breaking. What is that again?
No. The last time when we had this the DevOps session, right? This Linux window was coming little small. So this time it is coming bigger. So what is the settings change you did?
Okay, I did some changes here. So if you go to VirtualBox, and here particular machine settings, okay, display, and here scale factor I gave to 300%.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
okay, so it's bigger now. Okay, so now same thing, I'll go back normally to my SSH, okay. Preferred method, because I want to run from the command from my local machine rather than the VM. So then it doesn't matter. Okay, so Docker, again, see, you can check always. If Docker is Docker simple execute Docker, then it will give all the option. You see Docker -v, just Docker -v will give which version of Docker you are using. Okay. Then let's learn some of the simple Docker commands, which will be daily you will be using. Okay. Containers, resources, theories will talk later, but okay, these are all normal things. So let's see. Docker run hello world. It does not exist. So there is particularly Docker hello world. Yes, okay. So hello hyphen, just to check if it is running correctly or not. Docker run hello world, hello hyphen world. You see here, once you run it, it runs hello from Docker. This is a very small and simple Docker image. if you up to here, if you can execute it, your configuration and Docker install completely and with good configuration.
Hey, Panchaleshwar, this is BJ. You're getting this hello world from the Docker Hub, right?
Yes, by default, if you run Docker, run without giving anything, then it directly download from the Docker Hub.
Yeah. So I'm not joined in the previously. We have to create a
No,
username in Docker Hub, right?
nothing. So this is for everybody. This is the first Docker class, by the way. You are not new only. Everybody new. All are new.
Do we have to create a account in Docker Hub, or anybody can pull without?
Anyway, public. This is obviously publicly available image.
Okay.
So all the public available image, you don't need to log in.
Okay, got it.
So you can check if it will ask. If it anything private, it will ask to log in. Okay, you don't have to.
Okay. Yeah, being into development, basically what we do is an application, we just create our Docker file and
So I understand. So these are called private Docker hosts. You can create a private Docker registry. Okay. So where obviously every company they have their own Docker registry server, and those are all private, and you have to log in. Nothing is public. But whereas in fact in Docker Hub itself, it gives two types of images. One is you can have your company's or personal or private image. You can have your public image also. Public images anybody can download without login. But if it is private, then it is to you only, and you have to log in and give a password, then it will be downloaded. So there are two kinds of they are called Docker registry, by the way. Publicly available Docker registry server, private Docker registry server. So Docker Hub, but if you are not able to, if you don't need to log in, that is, it's obviously the publicly available Docker. Okay. There are different repositories like GitHub. Like GitHub, you have all the, sometimes you can directly clone publicly available repositories, right? But if it is private, obviously you have to log in, right? Same thing with Docker Hub also. So now let's quickly see one small demo, nothing like just jumping into the water I always did. Last time when we started cloud, we jumped into without knowing anything. We ran a web server, right? Same thing, without knowing anything, we just install Docker. Let's run the application, and then we'll explore, we'll jump into the water and we'll start, dive into the water, start swimming without knowing swimming. Okay, but here there is no risk of dying, but so we can do that. Let's see. So what we do is Docker run DIT. I'll exactly explain what they are. It has interactive terminal, okay, and name. Rather than that, because lack of time, I'll just simple copy paste rather than writing. I have done it already. So let's do it. So Control-C. Okay, so this is the name, Docker run DIT. What is DIT is hyphen DIT. D is for, stands for detached, I is interactive, T is terminal. Give me a terminal of after running and name it BOC web. BOC is big open cloud web. It's my own name. You can give anything you want. And then port. So port mapping. That means I want to map. I'll exactly tell what it is. For the time being is take it. So this is the host port, and this is the container port. When and column is called mapping. How you want to map, as we saw that, and volume mapping. -v is volume mapping. Who asked the question during configuration, right? how you want to configure. I said the volume mapping has to be done, right? So this is your answer, that during runtime, you can map your local directory into a container directory, okay? And you can pass on all your files, configurations in this only. And I'm going to run, I'm going to download. Let's see first, container C. This is the command I am to save it. First, let's check, do we have any images locally? Docker images. This is the command. You see the image which I just downloaded is called hello world. It is there already. You see this image is not there. Okay. Let's run this command and let's see what other things it does if I run it. First, I am telling you, first it will check whether this image is present locally or not. If it is not present, it is going to download this image from Docker Hub and it will run it with this interactively and in a terminal, and it will also detach it from me. That means it became independent. It will not attach to this terminal, and it will name it as BOC web, and it will map its own port number, which is actually 80, into the host port. That means this computer, or sorry, this VM's port number is 8080. And if you see here, Control C again, I'll do, okay, PWD is, this is my home directory, right? So let me call a website before running. Make dir website and cd and create vi index.html. I want this should be mapped to that particular website. So here, simple HTML. Just a very simple one. Okay. Now I'm here. You see here, and I have a folder called website, and in the website I have index.html. So now again, let me run this command, which I have not run yet. So what I'm doing here, just for your information, I have a folder called website, right? So I am mapping home, pnayak, website. This whole directory is mapped to a directory inside the container when it will be running. That means this is during when it will run. It should have, which I know by the way, when, as we have seen previously, right, in our classes, in a CentOS HTTPD, I used to have this particular file always, right, var www and HTML, right? So now the HTML which is there, index.html, will be actually in the container. It will be visualized as in the HTML directory. It will be index.html. So let's see what it does. So you see here, unable to find the image locally. It checked whether this particular image is available local in the local repository of my host or not. If not, then it is pulling. It will pull it from the Docker host, the Docker Hub. And you see this, all are complete. Now, if you write Docker PS, you see it is running. PS is just to check whether the container is running. What are the containers running? You see here, there is a container ID. The name is BSC Web. The port is mapped 8080 host port. Let's check. And what is the IP address of this? Obviously, it is 192.168.129. So obviously, if I browse this particular IP address with port number 8080 host port, you see that index.html actually I'm getting. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. And please do subscribe to my channel and encourage me to create more training contents. Thank you.